Hello, Piney Ridge Church. This past week, Sandy and I read this book. Here it is, John Calvin's a little book on the Christian life, and I particularly enjoyed chapter 4. It's entitled Meditations on the Future Life, and the chapter starts this way: in whatever trouble comes to us, we should always set our eyes on God's purpose to train us to think little of this present life and to inspire us to think more about the future life. And I really got me to thinking that when we experience trouble, and when I experience trouble, that God is training me to fall out of love with this world so that I will fall more in love with the next world. And so I've been pondering that these last few days. I'm always interested in what God is trying to teach us through suffering. And certainly we in the United States and the world have been through a lot of suffering in these last days. And I think one of the things that God is doing through that is teaching us to not be in love with this world. I love this passage from the book of Titus, chapter 2, starting in verse 11, where Paul says, "For the grace of God has appeared, bringing salvation for all people, training us to renounce ungodliness and worldly passions, and to live self-controlled, upright, and godly lives in the present age, waiting for our blessed hope, the appearing of the glory of our great God and Savior, Jesus Christ, who gave himself for us to redeem us from all lawlessness and to purify for himself a people for his own possession, who are zealous for good works." And so I pray, Piney Ridge Church, that you are waiting for your blessed hope, the appearing of the glory of our great God and Savior, Jesus Christ. I pray that you are renouncing ungodliness and worldly passions, that you are living self-controlled, upright, and godly lives in this present age, because God has set you apart for good works as his own possession. So be zealous for good works, Piney Ridge Church. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. I want to remind you that we are still on Sunday under the governor's guidelines of phase 1. And I know I myself have gotten to be a little reckless maybe in social distancing. And so I want to encourage all of us to be joyfully submissive to the guidelines that are set forth. And want to encourage you when the gathering is over to exit the building as soon as possible. Feel free to fellowship out on the parking lot. And then this next week, we apparently are going to enter into phase 2. The elders will talk about that on Tuesday, and we'll let you know what, if any, changes we'll have for next Sunday. So Piney Ridge Church, I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Have a great rest of the weekend.